I will do it, sonny boy.
Oh, I tell you my dad's story.
I would love to hear this.
Hey, about my dad?
Oh, yeah. I actually have been aching to... I'm not even joking. I've been aching to hear this because I saw the Instagram and it seems so whimsical.
Okay,
I'm going to preface this. I know the story.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
All right, well, I'm going to ooh and ah, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it.
Also, I did the same thing with my father, so just remember that. Just remember he did it with his father, but I also did it with my father. So.
Who is also Diego.
Who's also it's great because we actually cannot communicate because of the language barrier.
Of course.
I've also I know that your father does speak English, like, pretty well.
Yeah.
And I just refuse to believe it.
No, it's
It's not a thing.
I just don't acknowledge that he speaks multiple languages.
So on Wednesday, it was my dad's birthday.
Okay.
So I called him after. So I had 5 classes that day. After my first set of classes, I called him during my lunch, and to wish him happy birthday. And I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? Happy birthday!" And thank you so much. I'm like, "Where are you?" And he's like, "I'm actually in the Bronx." He, I guess, now delivers weekly to the Bronx and like drops off like produce, but usually he's there for like an hour. It's like in and out. But this
is he
he's a truck driver. Sorry,
Okay,
he's a truck driver. He's been a truck driver my whole life.
Okay.
And this time his truck broke down. So I'm like, "Oh, are you gonna be there for a while?" He's like, "I think so. The guys are on their way here to fix it. It'll probably take a while to fix."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "All right, let me finish my next set of classes. I'll call you back. I'll come see you." Because I had a hockey game that night, but I knew it was gonna rain. So I'm like, "Fuck it. I'm gonna assume it's gonna cancel and just go see my dad." I call
Hockey
him
outside?
Yeah, so I play roller hockey over on Pier 2, which is an outside rink. It has a roof on it, but if it's raining, it still gets all wet, and it's very difficult to play. So I call him when I finish the classes, and I'm like, "All right, I'm going to come. Where are you?" And he tells me he's at the Bronx Terminal Market, and something Reuben Brothers, something produce. He's like, "Just look for produce. There's no street signs because it's like an airport, basically."
Yeah.
I'm like, "All right, I'll call you when I get to the Bronx, and I'll figure out my way there."
Oh, God.
When I get to the borough of the Bronx.
The borough of the Bronx from Williamsburg, Brooklyn. I jump on the train. It's about an hour 15 to get there. And I start walking, and I get to what is the Bronx Terminal Market, and it's an enormous mall.
Right, it's huge.
It's a huge mall. And I'm like looking, I'm like, "All right, let me call my dad." No answer.
Oh, God.
Call again. No answer. Call again. No answer. Right to voicemail. I find a security guard. I'm like, "Hey, where would trucks be unloading things?" And he's like, "Well, either all the way over there or all the way over there, like the very ends of the mall." I'm like, "Fuck it." And I walked. It's again raining the whole time.
Yeah.
I walked to one end. There's 2 trucks there, and neither are my father. I walk all the way to the opposite end. There's no trucks there, but there's a security guard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Hey, is there another Bronx Terminal Market?" And she goes, "No." And I start walking away, and she's like, "Well, there's a place people confuse the Bronx Terminal Market for."
Ah.
And I'm like, "Well, what is this place?"
Thank God for this woman.
Yeah, thank God for this woman. And she's like,
I've never said that before in my life.
"You really have."
I've never said thank God for any woman.
That's been the first time anyone said it on this podcast.
Oh, for sure.
And it came from me?
And I will, just to put it out there for the listeners, that was Luke who said that, a nice thing about a woman, and we will be editing it out.
And then you have to edit this out.
I will also be editing this out, but this is for the Patreon subscribers.
We send them
They get a 30-second
clip.
episode.
We only send them what has been edited out of the episodes.
That's fair. And that's what they deserve.
That's actually very funny.
Thank you. Write it down.
And she's like, "It's called the Hunts Point Market." And I'm like, "Well, how close is that?" She goes, "It's not." And I go, "Okay." And I look at the map. I'm basically next to Yankee Stadium.
Right.
It's all the way on the other side of the Bronx. And the cool thing about the Bronx is on the east side, there's like a drop off that goes deeper into the ocean. And like that's where it is.
Yeah.
And I jump in a car.
Just so you explain, you mean the New York Yankees?
Yes.
Okay.
The Yankees. I'm sorry.
The New York Yankees.
New York Yankees.
The New York Yankees.
I call the car, which surprisingly takes a long time to get there, which is so cool. It took like 25 minutes for the car to get there.
Wow.
And I get in the car. Of course, it smells terrible. We start driving, and it's like a 25-minute drive.
Wow.
We get to what is the Hunts Point Market, and it is enormous. And you have to go through like a gate, like a toll gate.
Right.
And I'm in a fucking lift.
So question,
Please.
What are these big industrial markets that sell produce to grocery stores? So people from grocery stores bring their trucks there and they pick up food? Or
I assume it's either that or restaurants.
But you and I aren't going there like, let's buy 8,000 apples.
Right. I think you could.
Yeah.
Because they have displays I saw later on that you can just walk up and grab stuff. I was like, whatever. It's just weird. It seems very much like a level between a normal consumer and a
restaurant.
business
Yeah.
or restaurant.
It
feels like people buy stuff and take it to restaurants, and restaurants buy from them.
And exactly, there's a business in going to that market and selling stuff to bodegas and
Yes.
stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, you're just a fucking bodega Johnny Appleseed with a big sack of apples over your back. You're like, would you like some of these red apples? And they go like,
sure, 4.
I guess.
We sold 4 every year. So.
Yeah. I get 4. We wrap each of them in cellophane, so there's more waste for an apple.
Yeah.
And then we sell it to a guy for too much money, and it's soft.
I thought this was funny. The bodega across the street from Melissa's apartment is shutting. They were closing, and I was talking to the guy, and he was like, "Yeah, we're moving to Queens, so if you want to stop by there, that's where we're gonna be." I was like, "Okay, I'm not gonna be brand loyal to the bodega." You know, like I'm not gonna.
You take a fucking Uber. You take an Uber pool to this bodega to get a bag of Doritos, and then you take an Uber pool back.
It's like this isn't like something I don't need any of this stuff from you.
Yeah.
Like with all thank you for your time and service, but with all due respect, I'm never gonna see you again.
No.
There ain't no one ever sold me a pack of Ritz crackers better than Frank.
It's not like a barber. Anyway,
Exactly. There's a skill involved.
If it was a barber, I would follow.
So I get to the gate, and I'm in a lift, so it goes a little up ahead of the driver, and the guy's like, "We're closed." And I go,
God.
"Yeah, my dad is in here somewhere, and I want to find him, but I don't know where he is specifically." And they go, "Can you call him?" I'm like, I wish I could. I've been dying to call him.
This whole fiasco would actually be fixed.
This is
if
so
I
much
could.
easier. And then he's like, "All right, you can get out, but you can't drive in." So the guy drops me off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess I just have to go fucking car to car and like truck to truck to see if my dad's in it, because I don't know what his truck is. It's not his. It's he works for someone. And I'm walking through the first parking lot, and I'm like looking at the license plates, because maybe they'll be from Florida, but also a lot of times they're not.
They're not right.
I'm looking in the trucks, but of course they're all very tinted. And I'm just walking. I call my mom, and I'm like, "Hey, do you know what the truck that Dad drives looks like?" And she goes, "No, I got nothing. I have no information for you." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll figure this out." And she's getting worried because everyone's trying to call my dad to wish him a happy birthday, and he's not answering.
Right.
I'm walking. I get out of that specific little parking lot area. No luck.
Right.
I start walking down like a really long parking, like 2 football fields until I could see the end.
Right.
Like, very long.
All trucks.
Mostly 99% trucks. There's like a couple cars here and there.
Right.
I walk by a porta potty that a security guard is walking out of, and I go,
I didn't know that detail.
yeah. And he left his umbrella outside, and it rolled a lot. It was very funny. And I'm like, I remember that my dad brought up that was produce, and that it was something called Reuben Brothers.
Right.
Well, he didn't say that it was him. He just said the word Reuben Brothers. So I don't know if he was like looking at it,
Right.
or like that's who I'm working for right now. And I'm like, "Hey, Reuben Brothers? Anything? Does that ring a bell?" And he goes, "Oh yeah. You see that black car down there?" And I'm like, "Kind of." And he's like, "Well, make a left there. You'll find it." I'm like, "All right." 5-minute walk. Make a left. See a sign that has a Reuben Brothers. I walk into like they have these tiny little offices on the like where the back of the truck's back out of.
The
and
loading dock?
The loading dock,
Yeah,
yeah. There's
yeah.
a cute little, it looked like, you remember in Dinosaurs, the guy's boss who like, there's no room
Yeah.
for his shoulders?
Yeah.
Stuck in there.
It was that, but
Like
a
a
guy,
little. It's like the what's that position called? Like the shop steward almost is like sitting in that thing. Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
like that.
Okay.
And there's a guy comically overweight with a giant mustache and the biggest cigar I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even chop it. Like it's just all the way out.
Right.
And I'm like, a little weird. My dad's in here somewhere. I think he delivered for you guys, but his phone's not working. And he goes, "Well, if he delivered for us, he should be over there, 269. All the platforms have number on them." I'm like, "All right." I start walking. It's pouring. I get to 269, and there's like a bunch of people working. They're so mad I'm there. They can tell I don't work there. Like they're fuck off.
Do
And
they have like hairnets?
some people they'll have vests and just filthy
Like
hands.
orange?
Yeah, orange
Like a
and neon
safety
green.
vest?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving big boxes.
Big pallets.
Yeah.
And they have the forklifts that you can push with your hands, like the
Oh
automatic
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Like
I
they
don't
seem-
do good with those.
They seem like the kind of people you'd have to stop them to ask them about a murder.
Yeah,
Law and Order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, if you're not iced tea, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
So I get to one guy, and I'm like, "Hey, I think my dad, blah 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 blah. Has anyone been in here like fixing a truck? Because I knew he was having mechanical issues." And he's like, "I saw a tow truck go that way like an hour ago." And I'm like, "Well, thank you so much for your service." And I start walking again.
Fuck.
And I'm just walking, and it's filthy, enormous. Like there's banana peels everywhere. It just smells terrible.
Yeah.
It's so dirty. I can't. Again, imagine walking around the outside of an airport and asking if you could find a specific pilot. That's what it felt like. And
Impossible.
I'm walking, and I make a left, and there's just another enormous, just like an enormous alleyway of, not even alleyway, just street. Like the biggest street I've ever been on, and just so many trucks. And I see really far away, I see a tow truck's like lights with like, and I'm like, all right, let's see. I just keep walking.
Were you running at any point?
No, I was so tired. I already taught 5 classes.
Yeah.
It's like, I left my gym at 4:45. It's like 7:45 now.
Of course, yeah.
And I get close enough, and I see that in the cabin of the truck is a man with hat and sunglasses. I'm like, that's Daddy. I found Daddy so much. And I'm walking, and I get close enough where I know he can see me. Like, he's not looking, he's looking forward. And he's eating, and he just turns to look out the window to his left where I'm standing and starts laughing so hard. He's dying. And he opens the door, he's like, I knew you'd find me. And I'm just freaking out. Like, I can't believe I just fucking found you in this airport.
Diego found his daddy.
With like investigatory skills.
Yeah.
And he freaks out. We give each other a hug. And there's like, it's raining. These guys are like under the truck trying to fix it. He's like, we'll come into the truck. And we're just sitting in the truck. And because the truck died, he can't charge his phone in there.
Yeah.
And we sit there for like an hour and talk. And then the plan was going to be, when they finish fixing the truck, he's going to just drop me off on the opposite side of the George Washington Bridge, which I don't know where that is. I know it's in Manhattan somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
I would have figured it out probably.
Yeah.
But they're having a tough time fixing it. So I was like, let's go to the cafeteria. I can charge my phone over there, and we relax. So we walk over there. Again, such a long walk. He made it seem like it was down there. It was so far. And so many people are like moving pallets and fruit. And we stopped to ask a guy, I'm like, because he's had the same question. He's like, do people come here to buy fruit? He's like, at 11 o'clock, you won't be able to move. That's how he will come here. And I'm like, all right. And we go to the saddest cafeteria I've ever seen in my life. It's just so gray and dirt. Everything had like an inch of oil over it.
Yeah.
We sit down. He's charging his phone. And there's a TV and it's playing like Olympic sports, but it's not the Olympics. Like It's like one of those things.
Wait, what?
Like people are doing the Olympic sports, but it's not the Olympics.
Like, what was it, like track and field stuff?
Yeah, track and field stuff.
Jesus.
And we are watching it, and little by little, more Dominican guys start talking to my dad, and my dad's roasting them and making fun of. This one Dominican guy says something about like soccer, making fun of soccer players, and my dad's like, how many Dominican players play soccer? How many people play soccer? He's like, Real Madrid has a Dominican player. And he's like, or a Dominican guy on their team. He's like, is it the ball boy? And then I get him a little piece of chocolate cake for his birthday, and we go back finally to the truck. They can't fix it. They've broken a bunch of equipment trying to fix the truck.
Oh wow.
So I don't know I don't know where I'm going to go now. And my dad asks the tow truck guys to drop me off at the train. And they're like, sure. But there's 2 guys in a fucking little tow truck. There's no back seat. So I just sit on the console with my head like sideways for a while.
Yeah.
And they're saying inappropriate things about any woman that was driving, that was near the truck. A woman that drove us home. Drove me to the 6 train in Hunts Point.
That's like the end of the 6 train.
As end of the 6 train. And I just took an hour and a half, like almost 2-hour train ride home.
So what did your dad do? Did his truck get fixed? Do you know?
He got fixed the next morning.
So does he have one of those trucks with a sleeping cabin?
Oh, yeah.
Have you been back there?
I mean, it's when you go into the truck itself,
You
like
see it.
it's right there. Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's cool. It's very depressing and very cool at the same time.
I think it's very cool.
He
The
lives a
sleeping
very lonely
cabins.
life. It bums me out.
Does your dad
sometimes.
have a like a comically big drink cup?
Oh,
Like, do you know, like the big plastic one?
he doesn't drink soda,
Okay.
but he has a 24-pack of water at all times. Like it's right next to the.
Oh, okay.
How about peeing? What are we talking?
Out of his
He pees
dick?
so much.
Out of his dick,
Yeah,
or
it's
not out of his dick?
Does he pee in the cabin?
I didn't ask.
Pull over.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
I bet he's really good at holding it at this point. He's
Yeah.
been a truck driver longer than I've been alive.
Wow.
It's like 23 years, I think.
Industry? 21.
21 years. It was like a crazy story. It was like one of the craziest.
I can't believe you found
wild.
him.
I
I would have given up before I got to the Bronx.
Yeah, I'm giving up at 4:45. I'm like, all right, well, good luck.
I see it's raining. I'm like, Dad, you know how the trains are in the rain. He's like, I don't live here. And I'm like, you'll get it.
You'll see one day.
Oh, you're cutting out.
You just break your phone at
10-4. You just start talking in fucking CB radio.
Yeah.
We gotta get into CB radio
Yeah.
culture.
We do podcasts through CB radio. And they're like, stop talking.
Over.